there, I'm Chloe. Welcome and thanks for tuning in. I am going to make a big, beautiful fall wreath today on this grapevine wreath form. I have started decorating my mantle and I've decided a giant wreath is just what I need above it. So I'm gonna get the camera angle down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing as I make this big wreath today. So I picked up this big grapevine wreath form and a couple of garlands, and I've used some of these garlands on my mantle already, so I want this to coordinate. I picked up this garland at Hobby Lobby because I really was looking all around for something that was really full, and this was the fullest one I could find. But it's very flat. So first thing I'm going to do, it was not quite big enough, so I picked up a second one and to add to it. So we'll just take this one and cut a little bit of it off so that it can finish out the whole of the grapevine wreath. And I'm just using wire cutters here to cut through it. This is kind of a solid, kind of golden leaves, but they don't have a lot of color in them. And a lot of times you'll see with some of the flowers, I will just tuck things into the grapevine, and that way I can use them again and again and again. But with this one, I want to make sure these things hold on tight. So I've got some oatmeal colored pipe cleaners that I think will hide really well. If they don't hide well enough, I've got some brown ones too. And I'm just going to go around the stem of my vines and secure it right there. And this one doesn't have to be bent very much. The other one will have to form it around and just stick it under some of the grapevines and then wrap it right around the plastic stem of the garland. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way around before I start anything else. I'm going to turn this around. I think I want to anchor this one down first so I know it's overlapping. And I'm just twisting that pipe cleaner around both the grapevine and the stem of my garland. Then I want to go around here, pick this up, find another spot where there's a nice thick piece of the grapevine. You only need a little piece of the pipe cleaner. You don't need a whole one for each place you're going to secure them to one another. And same thing, just make sure you twist them around about 3 times. See, I'm just going around, and where I can lift it up, that's where I want to secure it. We're almost to the end of our full garland. If you wanted a really simple wreath, you could just do this and hang it up. You would not have to do anything else to it. You can add a bow if you want, but we're going to add, I really like that lush and full look, so I'm going to be adding all kinds of things to my wreath. And now that I have the full garland done, I can add this little tail that I had to add on to supplement, to fill all the way around my wreath. We have that all attached. Now the next step is, because this is so flat, we've got to take our leaves and lift them and bend the wires on them and give this a little bit of dimension. See how much prettier that looks already than just the flat, you know, more three-dimensional instead of just flat. So I'm just going to go around my wreath and pull up some of my leaves and fluff them. And you may not find a garland that is this flat. A lot of them will already be fluffier than this one is. Okay, now I think you can see it's got a lot more dimension to it now. And now I'm going to move these aside, and one of the next things that I want to do is I want to add some bittersweet, because I've used this on the garland that is on my mantle, but I don't want to cover this all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into individual pieces. It's going to be kind of hard. It's a really thick garland of bittersweet. This came from Michael's a couple years ago. I bought all they had on sale at the end of the season. I think it was Christmas season, and I was buying bittersweet. Okay, going the same direction that our leaves are. These are the things that I don't think need to be wired in, because this is not going to hang outside. It's going to hang above my fireplace, so it's not going to be subjected to wind and things. And we're just going to take the pieces of bittersweet and add them all around the wreath. This grapevine wants to hang on to everything. Same thing, keep with the leaves, don't go against the leaves. And you're just going to take that stem and stick it right down in between all of those grapevines until this holds. If it does not want to hold anywhere, if it feels like it's going to come out, then you're going to want to use the pipe cleaner method, okay? Now the bad thing about these berries that they make out of styrofoam with the paint on them is a lot of times the paint starts to come off and you get the little white spots, and I don't like that, so I'll just trim those out or pull a leaf over top of them and cover them up. I'm just going to keep moving around my wreath, adding my bittersweet berries. And then I'll be anxious to show this to you along with what I have done for the fireplace already. It's not totally done yet, but it's getting there. I think I'm going to trim this whole one off back here. I don't like how it's sticking up. And then I'll take it down to the bottom. Put it right here. If you want to make this more permanent, you can always dip these in hot glue, use hot glue, and attach these with hot glue. I don't like to use hot glue with my grapevine wreaths because I like to take them apart and do something different from year to year. So now we've got bittersweet all around our wreath, and it's time to add some other really pretty flowers. I'm doing a lot of things with burgundy this year. So I have some reddish burgundy and some purple and some orange dahlias. So same thing, I'm gonna have to, well, obviously remove the price tags. Set those over there out of the way. And I'm gonna cut the stem, and I don't wanna cut the stem too short because, again, I might want to do something with this differently next year, and I need to make sure that I have enough stem if I wanna put it into a centerpiece. So, I'm gonna take my dahlias, and same thing as the bittersweet, I'm just gonna secure it in there. And then I'm gonna take and bend so the face of the flower is looking out at us. There we go. And I wanna make sure it's secure. So this is not a wreath that's going to have like a top and a bottom. It's just going to be decorated all the way around. So a good pair of wire cutters is obviously a necessity. So we've got all the flowers that I intended to put on, and now I'm going to add some maple leaves that have color on them as opposed to the ones that we put on with our garland that are all pretty neutral. And we're just going to use the same technique and take these and just stick them into the grapevine so that it's secure. You want to add plenty of these, and you want to add them both on the outside edge of the wreath and on the inside. And what I mean by inside, in here. It doesn't matter if the grapevine shows, but that's what you're kind of doing, is going after where you can make things, the grapevine, not show as much. When you have leaves that some of them are turned forward and some are turned backward, just take and twist them so that they're all facing the same way. One more little piece here, and we're going to add it right there. So here we are. There is a gorgeous fall leaf. It was not inexpensive, but it was a fraction of the cost of what you would pay if you had to go out and buy something like this. So I have my wreath all ready, and I'm going to take it and hang it on above my fireplace, above my mantle, and show you how it looks. Here's our beautiful wreath hanging above the decorated mantle. The one thing I forgot to add out in the studio was I had these pretty pumpkins. So I popped those in before I hung it up. And I think it looks just beautiful. So I hope this inspires you to get started on your fall decorating. Remember, you can do it. Just follow along the steps. It's really easy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.